Hello and welcome back to another LJT MTG video. This time we've got something special for you. Liam is battling Jer, and they're doing a little bit more of a serious battle, so they're going to keep themselves muted so that Liam can talk about his lines of play while he's actually performing them, and then they'll talk in between the games. So. It's looking to be a really interesting match. We've got Simic Slaw, as it's called. I assume after Coleslaw. I don't know whether or not that's good or bad, but the deck is pretty cool, and I'll show it off in a second here. And Liam will be piloting it, and Jer will be piloting a black-red mid-range deck he's been working on for a while. And I also had some recent success with that Monday Night Highlander. I think the deck list is really solid and tight, and I mean, you can't get tighter than Bedevil, am I right? Uh, Anyways, so I'm gonna do the deck tech for both decks. Uh, so let's just move right into them. First, we have Simic Slaw, and this is the side that we're gonna see throughout the video. Um, the deck is essentially a mid-range deck that is looking to take advantage of um, having permanents in play with either Time Walk or Time Warp, and then leveraging Nature's Lore, Farseek, these ramp spells to get mana advantage over our opponents. Once we have that mana advantage, then we can start deploying threats and casting Time Walks, or deploying threats and casting card advantage spells like Stock Up, etc. Green has gotten quite a lot of threats recently that, when unchecked, especially if you have an extra turn, they give you a pretty unfair advantage. So we're playing like the best planeswalkers we can, including Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, which I love, by the way. I think people forget how powerful this card is, but if you've got the proper mana setup, then it can be really, really powerful. And then we're just playing the best blue and green threats. So we've got Bristly Bill, Scythecat, Cub. Canker Bloom is both a beater, but also just something flexible that we can leverage. We're playing Springheart and Antuco, literally just to make bodies, copy our Eternal Witnesses, etc. Tarmogoyf, pretty easy, includes, same with a Boron Oculus. And then we're also playing Seeker Walk. So this is a blue-green deck, but it is actually splashing white, as you'll note from the Planeswalkers I mentioned earlier. Um, because you're playing so many of the ramp spells, you can kind of splash white for free. You already are really heavily incentivized to play Surveil lands with cards like Farseek and Nature's Lore, because they find non-basic lands. So you can basically like choose whether or not you want, say, like your forest to come into play untapped, so you can play another spell that turn, or if you want to get a Surveil off of it. It's really, really powerful. I've recently been playing a lot of Scape Shift at Monday night, and I've been really happy with that interaction. Um, it makes turn 2 Farseek or turn 2 Nature's Lore feel quite a lot stronger than it has in the past. Getting that extra Surveil is just a big deal. Like, you're already taking a turn off to develop your mana, so you're behind on board state. So that Surveil, generally speaking, matters quite a lot. Like, getting to dig deeper to cards that help you even out the board state so that you can take over with your more powerful late game threats is really, really powerful. Um, so to top off the threat suite, we've got Sabsunin, Undermountain Adventure, Uro. And I mean, you can imagine scenarios where you have a Scythecat Cub or a Bill or an Abhorrent Oculus, and you draw one Time Walk with an Eternal Witness, and you can create an insurmountable advantage. So moving on to the sorceries, yeah, it's just a bunch of ramp spells, time walks, and then efficient, or not efficient, sorry, really powerful card advantage engines, stock up Savine's Reclamation, and then the best of the cantrips, including Serum Visions. I'm surprised Liam even put this one in his deck. I'm pretty sure he's a Serum Visions hater as well, but maybe not. Maybe he's changed. Maybe he's come around. Um, I like playing just one time warp. I think multiple time warps can be a little clunky. But you might as well play one. You're playing so many of these ramp effects. Part of your points is spent on Soul Ring as well. You also are playing mana drain, so having access to it like another time walk effect, especially if like say you cast this your actual time walk early and they exile it, like this is still a way that you can win the game if you have like quite a lot of mana with Spellseeker and like you draw this naturally or with Eternal Witness and Ephemerate, etc. So I like this include. Um, so we're splashing white for Planeswalkers and removal essentially. Since we're already priced into splashing white to get the Ephemerate combo, we just basically get the either best removal in terms of efficiency or the most flexible removal that we can and get lost March of Otherworldly Light, and we would have seen Prismatic Ending over here as well. Uh, Other than that, we're playing just the one regrowth effect, the Aurora Possession. I've been really impressed by this card. Instant speed, feeling like it matters quite a lot in a lot of matchups. Getting to pick and choose at the end of your opponent's turn as opposed to having to regrowth in anticipation of what your opponent might do can be really powerful. Like if you have a counterspell in the graveyard, but you kind of want to Aurora Possession like a potentially key creature back, but you're not really sure what threat your opponent is going to represent. In the past, generally speaking, if you were casting a regrowth, you would have had to choose whether or not you felt like the creature was more important than being able to be reactive to whatever your opponent's game plan is. And with Aurora Procession, like you just don't need to worry about that at all. So I've been really impressed by this card as well. We're playing some of the best draw spells. We get to play a slightly higher curve because we expect that in a good portion of our games we're going to draw at least one ramp spell, if not two. So we get to play things like Memory Deluge, which I think is a cool include. Getting to 7 mana, not necessarily trivial, but definitely a lot more doable in an archetype like this. And then, I mean, I love to see a Factor Fiction. So cool. It's sweet that this card like sometimes makes it in people's lists even after all of this time. Um, you also get access to just a regular blue counterspell suite, and your Mystic Confluences in this type of deck are really good as well. So you get to play this really powerful one. This is something. This is a spell that you don't get to play in like a lot of blue decks necessarily. Like you would never see something like this in Jeskai because you're just not guaranteed to hit 5 mana every game. But in this type of deck, getting to play Mystic Confluence is really powerful, and it can definitely swing a lot of games in your favor. We're playing Ghost Vacuum for a little bit of graveyard hate, as well as Soul Ring is 3 of our points, Mana Drain were 2, and then we had Time Walk as our last 6. And then since we're splashing white anyways, we might as well splash something like Shurikai. This is obviously very powerful with Time Walk effects. But I find like even just playing Shurikai and activating it on a pretty stable board, like you feel like you're so far ahead. Shadow of the Second Sun is one I'm interested to see if we get to see in the gameplay. It is a little confusing, I find, but basically at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, there's an additional beginning phase. So you get to do upkeep and have another draw step. So when you play Shadow of the Second Sun, if you played it in your pre-combat main phase, you instantly recoup the card advantage when your post-combat main phase happens. As far as I understand it, don't quote me on that. I haven't played the card, but as far as I'm reading it, that seems to be how it works. I mean, if I'm wrong, maybe let me know in the comments. You also get an untap and an upkeep, so I think this card's really powerful. It generally speaking, getting extra phases or taking away people's phases has been something historically that has been powerful in the past. So I'm really excited to see if we get to see this one in action, especially in this matchup, in such a grindy matchup. I think this card could be really good. Then we're just playing like a regular land suite. We have to play more than a couple basics because we have these rampant growth effects, etc. And they help us fix our mana anyways. So that means we're like way less weak to Blood Moon. Like we're running 4 forests, 4 islands, and a snow-covered plains, as well as all the fetches we need. So realistically, this deck is also a really good deck against Blood Moon. But yeah, so that's the Simic Slaw deck, and then the black-red mid-range deck. This is something that Jared's been working on for a while, and I think the list is really tight. I've been playing it at Monday night, or I played it last Monday night. I was able to attend, uh, and I was able to snag the 4-0, and the deck felt really good. It is essentially just a list of the best creatures that you can find in black and red, the best removal, and then there are some slots for flexibility or uh, other creature types. So I didn't play exactly Jair's list, like I replaced Scavenger Regent for Shieldred, but for the most part, I played this list and it felt really solid. You have some aggressive starts that you can back up with your removal and gain edge that way, but then you, because you're still playing a late game deck, like a value grinding type of deck, you get to have these early starts that put people into positions where they have to either use the removal in inefficient ways or not advance their game plan to stop you from advancing yours. Uh, and then you can close out the game with one of your heavy hitters, Headliner Scarlet, Caves of Chaos Adventure. The Chaos Defiler is really cool. It's been really excellent for me so far, and you can get it off of this card, Demonic Council. So if you have Delirium, this is just a straight up demonic tutor. But if you don't, then you can pay 2 to search for a demon, and this Chaos Defiler, it's a demon, and it and it works. um, Other than that, you're just playing really efficient removal. I like a couple of choices here, like Faithless Looting. I think is really good. In games of Highlander these days, your cards have really high variable rate based on the both the game that you're playing and also the matchup that you're playing that game in. So I like being able to have something that is sort of a an eject button. Like let's say you keep a hand with a decent suite of removal and creatures, but you find out you're playing its combo. Faithless Looting is one of your best draws at that point because you get to start filtering through your deck and get rid of some of those removal spells that are less than ideal. We're playing just like some of the best into speed interactions. It's essentially all removal. And then we're just playing a bunch of fast mana. So our points are Mox Jet, Mox Ruby, Soul Ring, and Reanimate. I also think this is one of the best Soul Ring decks for what it's worth. Black Red, for how much I'm singing its praises, its 1-drop slot is pretty low impact, at least in terms of being proactive. So like we have the best 1-drop removal, but as for actual like creatures, we're just packing Rogvon and Nethergoyf. So oftentimes on turn 1, just playing a turn 1 Soul Ring can be really beneficial. Get to play your 3-drop plus maybe another 1-drop piece of removal for whatever your opponent played on their turn 1 or turn 2. And then to round it out, we've just got a Blood Moon package, so we're playing Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon. The mana base is pretty tight. The only lands that we're playing that aren't like actual mana producing lands are Wasteland and Takenuma does both, and Arena of Glory, and then everything else is just basics to make sure that we don't lose to our own Blood Moon, or black red lands to make sure that we can actually cast our like Deathly Voidwalker into like a bunch of red symbols deck list. So yeah, really excited to see how these matches play out. But stay tuned.
All right, good luck.
All right. Well, first match never happened.
All right. So Jared and I are back playing some tier 1 content here where mic's off during the game. Sometimes we've been doing banter, but we're not going to for these. I'm going to be talking about more detailed lines. I'm laughing a little bit because this may or may not be the second time we've recorded this set, and we had a really sick first set of games, and then we finished up the games and realized neither of us were recording. So I'm going to keep this 7. It's a little dubious, but I think the lands are pretty good to have, and yeah, I'm just pretty down for this. Because I have Bristly Bill, I'm just gonna lead on Breeding Pool, and I'm probably just gonna play Trop and hold up Remand on turn 2, and then look to play Bill plus Arid Mesa on turn 3. Okay. Jarrett has Scalding Tarn and Badlands, so yeah, red black, not surprising. Chrome Mox is a little bit awkward here for me. Hopefully his 2-drop is not that scary, and maybe he's got a scary 3-drop instead. That would be much better. I get to remand it at least, gain some tempo back. Ugh, okay. Turn 1 Inti, pretty scary. That's a good opener for him. I'm still just on my plan of remanding though. Like, I can't just run the bill out and let it die after getting no value. I think that's too risky. The Boseiju doesn't have a ton of good targets in this matchup. I think he might have Skull Clamp in his deck, but beyond that, maybe Animate Dead. There are very limited targets, I think, actually. So I don't think I should be that concerned about throwing it out there as a land. Not that I'm like especially near needing to do that, but I probably will do it if the opportunity arises. All right, let's see. Jer is discarding Mountain, which is interesting, and then exiling to Inti Bitter Triumph. Okay, well that doesn't do anything right now, so that's good. Yeah, I would have gotten maximum punished if I played the bill. So if he's discarding Mountain, you got to assume he's got a land, right? Fear of missing out. No, thank you. I think not. Let's remand that one. Give myself at least a little bit more time before I'm getting FOMO'd. Jer's got he's going to be able to enable FOMO really quickly too, which is pretty scary. Oh, actually, you know what? Interestingly, Fear of Missing Out is a Boseiju target, though. That's pretty funny. Okay, well, not nothing, I guess. So I think we are going to go for Bill into a fetch land. The reason being that I have to try and stem the bleeding, and where I know he has Fear of Missing Out, I would rather force him to play a removal spell this turn than further develop, I think. I can't just sit here and plan to like Boseiju the Fear of Missing Out or something. It's not really a winning proposition for me, I think. Like, it's nice that I have that interaction available to me, but that's like a bonus thing. It's not the A plan. Molten Collapse. Yep. That's fine. So if he has land and gets to play FOMO as well, it's like pretty rough here. If he goes like land, okay, yeah, so no land is good for me. Could hit one though. But at least he's not getting the FOMO triggered right away. Oh, God. Pitch Croxa. Jesus. All right, I really need this Inti to not hit a land. Detective's Phoenix. He can bestow this Detective's Phoenix if he wants to devour his entire graveyard. I would be a little surprised if that's something he's interested in. Oh, he did have a land. Oh, weird. Huh. So we had a land this whole time and we didn't go for FOMO pre-combat? I'm surprised that that was his play. Okay, Meticulous Archive. Definitely don't need this land. Rampant Growth. Not a terrible draw, to be honest. Okay, so let's fire off the Rampant Growth. Put Basic Forest into play. And yeah, in beginning of combat, we're gonna have to go for the old Boseiju, your Fear of Missing Out, which is not great. And there's a non-zero chance I'm getting Croxed this turn as well. This game is early. Kind of gone off the rails a little bit, to be completely honest, but, you know. Mock starts will do that to you. Oh, I clicked through beginning of combat. Oh, that's so bad. Well, you can't let a mistake snowball. I still want to kill this thing and not take 2, but it's pretty embarrassing that I had to do it in this order. Punished for not playing tight. All right, so Jared gets an untapped land. He gets to attack with Inti again, which is basically going to end the game here, right? Like, I'm going to take 5, and then I'm going to take Yeah, that's really awkward that I played so wrong here. I think I was in a pretty rough spot no matter what, but I mean, this basically ends the game on the spot. Croxa says, yeah, I have to discard on non-land to not die to the Croxa, which means I have to discard the stock up, and then the Croxa is in play. So I got to imagine I'm just dead. Is Jer going to discard his last card? What outs do I have? So I will keep playing because if I draw Spell Seeker, I can win. Which is a kind of absurd statement. But it is actually true. If Jer has nothing and I draw Spell Seeker, I win the game. So yeah, he's going to play land. He's going to fetch. He's going to put Croxa into play, probably, I assume. I'm going to discard stock up to not die. Yep. Here's Croxa. And here's me discarding my only non-land so that I don't die. And here's me drawing Spellseeker like a god to win the game. One time. Okay. That's not Spellseeker. GG. That was
That Inti card is quite good.
Yeah. Turns out, turn one especially, I punted. I feel like an idiot because like I just clicked through your beginning of combat. It was like one of those like misclicks that doesn't happen IRL. So like I should have gotten one more. I should be probably plus one more turn there, because I meant to Boseiju your fear of missing out beginning of combat, so you didn't get 2 attacks. Because then
if you're plus 5 life, you're still dead on board. But
I drew a way to not die. But it wasn't enough to stop myself from dying from 2 life. I drew Oko, so I can elk something if I have more life, I'm alive. But yes. Not ideal.
Yeah, Elking Croxa probably gets you there.
I think so.
I would need to draw plus 1 damage.
I also I discarded stock up to Croxa as well, so I'm allowed to not discard stock up if I'm plus 6 life is the other part of it. And then I at least get to go into my turn with like stock up for time walk and into shenanigans as like an out to win the game.
Sure.
Anyway, all this to say, being plus 7 life better than being minus 7 life.
Plus 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and you minus
still
2
true.
cards. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Good luck. Man, this is another really awkward one. I just don't think this hand does enough, right? Like, if I have a Path to Exile to interact early, and then I have Teferi. I mean, I guess maybe like what else am I looking for? Like how much can I ask of my opening hands? Maybe is a fair question. All right, I'll keep it. I just don't love mulliganing against the red-black deck. Even though it is less grindy than it looks. Like, it is more of a aggressive mid-range deck than it is a full mid-range deck. You do just will have games that grind down, and I think starting on low resources is worse. Again, this Path to Exile is just like so hideous looking in my hand. I hate the idea of needing to cast it early. I'm going to Surveil here because if I find like a 1 in a blue counterspell, for example, I'm going to be much happier casting that than I would be with Loriening. Okay, Spell Pierce I actually will keep. A little bit of early interaction. I'm down to play this Forest and just have either or. I'll cycle Lorien with this snow-covered forest to get Tropical Island probably. This way, like, the really scary, annoying things he can do, like, probably involve fast mana, realistically. And I at least have a security valve for those. I can also Spell Pierce a hand attack spell, which I would Definitely do. I think that's something I would be interested in. Okay, we are surveilling Mox Jet into the graveyard. That is moderately concerning. Why would we be surveilling Mox Jet to the bin? Okay, maybe him? Yeah. Okay, so feeling great about keeping the Spell Pierce now. Get to pierce the him. Binning Moxjet to me insinuates that Jar's hand is land heavy, if I had to guess. Okay, let's get Tropical Island. Pass. Just playing Teferi and going Teferi minus here is bad against a haze creature, but I don't have any other plays that I really like either, so I think I'm just going to do it. Just draw my card, get this thing in play. Stock up is a good draw. Yeah, and now I'm set up to go like land, play Timeless Witness, get back land maybe, or just like play stock up, hold up Path to Exile. Like if Jar's spending his turn killing this Teferi, I think I'm pretty happy. Dothy. Okay, yeah, Dothy is fine. That one doesn't bother me too much. Land. Yeah, that makes sense. Do I want to kill it? Like, is this Dothy Voidwalker worthy of a Path to Exile? Because if I don't kill it, then I'm giving Jer a stock up on his turn, which I feel like he could probably use pretty well. I think I will just Path to Exile this thing. It is ultimately something I want off the table, and I don't really want to give him the opportunity to cast my stock up. We're going to stock up. I see. Not a stellar selection here. I mean, I could see myself Savine's wrecking here. I'm definitely going to take Sink into Stupor. And then the question is, what else am I taking? Ephemerate is decent with Timeless Witness. Maybe it's just Ephemerate. Get that going. Could also be Boseiju. No, I think it's Ephemerate. And now it's like, I can go like Timeless Witness, pick up land, Ephemerate, Timeless Witness, pick up Path to Exile. It's probably pretty good. Or if I draw land, I can just Ephemerate the path right away. Yeah, sure. So cool one. Just put a 4/4 in play. Wrath on the other side. I do like that card. I know Jer was decently high on that card. Okay, so let's start by just casting Time Warp. I think just getting an extra turn here is not going to hurt, and getting an extra land drop. Okay, so we Time Warp, uptick to Fairy, go to my second turn. Okay, I didn't draw a second white source, which is a little awkward. But I think I'm still just gonna go for it. I'm gonna uptick to Fairy, and then I'm gonna go for Timeless Witness, pick up Path to Exile, and I'm gonna Path the Scavenger Regent, keep my Teferi in play, and I will discard Ghost Vacuum probably, is what I'm leaning towards discarding. The 3 steps ahead is actually like Forbid pretty soon here. Once I get up to, what is it? You need 7 mana, right? You have to use, if you can do, yeah. So if you can cast it for, no, it's for 6. Yeah, you do counter target spell, create a token of Timeless Witness, and it locks them under basically a Forbid lock. Okay, so here's a fetch from Jer. He's going to Surveil. He doesn't have a Surveil land. Okay, so it was just Blood Crypt. And now I have to decide what I'm discarding. And I think it is just Ghost Vacuum. As good as this card is, I don't think it's the one for me here. So get rid of the Scavenger Regent. Yeah, Jared's hand was definitely land heavy. Ooh, just playing Troll. Yep. Troll me. Well, I'm going to pretty happily bounce that one with Teferi. Force of Will is a really nice find. Very happy to have found Force of Will. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's all coming together now. We'll play Sabsunin. Start frogging. Oh. Champion, are you feeling strongly about me putting a large frog into play? Okay, so get to pass. Yep. Great. So Sabsunin is a blocker currently, and but it's gonna draw me 2 cards on my turn. Yeah, so like Jared doesn't have a lot of good ways to kill this. I think I just let that go. I don't think that matters. He's gonna play, and now he's gonna play Troll, which I will also just let resolve. It also doesn't really matter. Like at this point, the Sabsunin's gonna take over the game relatively expeditiously. And now I get to do some shenanigans with some time walks. Okay, so let's go Ephemerate for Time Warp, and I think this is just a lock, right? Yeah, it's just a lock. Perfect. Hello.
Hello.
I assembled Seeker Walk's much jankier cousin, Sabsunin Timeless Witness Time Warp Walk. Or Warp, I don't know. There's no walk involved.
I drew 2 spells that entire game.
When you surveilled Mock's Jet into the graveyard, my his hand is all lands alarm bells were blaring.
I kept 3 lands, him Dothy 2 land cyclers.
Yeah.
Which is like a little clunky argument to mulligan. But when you draw whatever,
Yeah,
5
lands
to
in a row
start the
and get
game,
pathed
like,
twice and still draw all the lands, it's like relatively tilted.
Any hand is not going to be great.
Yeah, very fair.
Yeah.
All right,
Argument for mulliganing that one though.
Yeah, that's close. I was actually saying in my mulligan decision that like this matchup is kind of weird because the red-black deck is like a mid-range deck in air quotes, but it's like also kind of just an aggro deck, right? Like
has aggressive draws for sure.
Mm-hmm. So like you kind of have to plan for both sides of things, like, and so like mulliganing when you might end up in a game that's going to go long feels worse.
That's one of the reasons I like the slightly bigger build-up black-red, because you still have mostly the same aggressive draws. You're just playing slightly fewer bad 1 and 2 drops.
Yeah, makes sense.
But like you still have the good aggressive draws, but your staying power in games is just so much greater.
Yeah. All right, game 3.
Game 3.
All right, game 3. Been a good set so far. I think these decks match up pretty well. I don't know. I don't remember if I mentioned or not, but I specifically told Jared that I would not play a combo deck, and part of the reason is that the decks that Jared wants to play often don't line up very well into combo. So we wanted to at least try and make for a good set, and I think we have achieved that goal. This hand is great, I think. I mean, I don't know what else you would ever want from a hand out of this deck. It is moderately awkward that this Swords to Plowshares is in conflict with casting this Farseek, but I'm going to go Island Consider and hope that maybe cleans up my mana situation. And if it doesn't, I will probably just get Forest with Prismatic Vista and then Farseek into the Trial. And hopefully we'll be off to the races. Mana Leak and Swords to Plowshare should hopefully help me not get run over, God willing. Yeah. No, I should be done in about 10 minutes. I should be done in like 10 minutes. I'm still recording with Jer. Okay. Oh, Lorian also cleans up my mana. Okay, that's great. Still probably casting Consider here. We'll see what Jared does though. Okay, Oliphant. Yeah, like if this Oliphant comes into play off a reanimation, then I'm gonna want to potentially just swords it right away, not let it chunk my life total down. Okay, looks like it's not just coming straight into play, which is good. Honestly, maybe I'm just cycling this Lorian anyway, though. Because realistically, I know what I want from it. And this lets me get it in before I could get Oppo agented. Okay, yeah. This was another reason to do it in this order, actually. I didn't even think about Orcish Bowmasters. Okay, so I will get Tropical Island. I think I kind of want to play around getting Blood Moon or God, can I afford to get? Because I could potentially get basic planes with. Well, I can't get. Yeah, I could get basic planes with Farseek if I wanted to. Like I could go fetch for basic force, get basic planes. I think I'm gonna do that, actually. And the reason is like Blood Moon is like one of the ways that this game gets really hairy for me. Okay, so basic forest, Farseek, and to get basic planes. And then I'll pass. Take my licks this turn. But then I have Swords to Plowshares, I have Mana Leak, and I have Consider, and then I'm going to slam this Sabsunin, which could be pretty powerful on this board. Mishra's Bauble. Yep, it's a good one. Okay, Jer has Mountain, Broadside. Okay, it's a lot of pressure. I do have to decide what I'm going to kill, and I think the answer is that it has to be Bowmasters. Is he going to throw the Orc Army at me? Okay, he did not throw the Orc Army at me. Yeah, I mean, drawing the Brainstorm makes me feel like But the Bombardiers actually represents more pressure, so maybe I am just priced into killing the Bombardiers. Alright, I'm gonna not click through my beginning of combat here this time. Beginning of combat sorts this thing. And yeah, I just have to leave the Bowmasters in play for now. It's like mildly awkward in the face of Sabsunin, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Okay, so Jer is passing with 4 mana open, which smells like removal spell to me. Okay, so I can go Soul Ring into Sabsunin. This is like a it's kind of a funny dilemma now because the Sabsunin's going to be drawing cards, which means the Bowmasters is going to be triggering, which is obviously not good for me. But I just felt like there is like a non-zero chance that I just died to Orcish Bowmaster or to Bombardiers if I didn't kill it. At least this thing is indestructible, so it's like relatively hard for Jer to kill it. Yeah, collapse is fine. I think I will go for a consider on end step, because otherwise I'm gonna be taking 2 more damage. This at least gives me like a chance of finding it out to the bowmasters. Yeah, see, so now I can pause in my own I guess I can pause in my own draw step, and I can march the, so pause on draw, my own draw step. I will oh, I hate casting this spell. Okay, white. Okay, there we go. So we found the march, which means that this Sabsunin maybe gets to take over the game now. That's the hope, at least. So now I get a counter. I get to draw 2 cards. I'll just play Meticulous Archive here. I do need to find a way to not die to the Orc army, but I've got a lot of time before it's killing me. And we will go from there. Yep. We'll take 2 down to 9. Little low, but should be fine. And now I get to... Oh, I no longer require these stops. So I get to put a counter on this thing. Okay, so Sink into the Stupor is a way to get rid of Orc Army token. I'm going to attack. It is time to end the game, I think. I've got a counter spell for backup. I've got a Brainstorm to try and find some more action. Just need to start doing game-ending things. Duress me. Okay, well, I will just sink this in response. To take it off the table. And then I think I'm just going to let the duress resolve. If Jer feels like if the mana leak stops what Jer's doing, he'll take the mana leak. Otherwise, my hand is just, yeah, card advantage spells, and I just am fine with him taking it. I'm not even going to cast the Brainstorm yet. I'm going to draw 2 more cards with Sabsunin on this turn, so I'm off to the races already. It's always good to have more info. No 6-drops in my deck, unfortunately, so Neoform not turned on. Not that I would be Neoforming anyway. Okay, let's play Marsh Flats. I don't want a Mystic Sanctuary or anything yet. And I have Time Walk in my deck. Let's fire off this Brainstorm. Yeah, okay, so I'll put Mystic Sanctuary back, and I'll put the Hallowed Fountain back. And let's crack this fetch land now, just on the outside chance that Jared does have a opposition agent. Okay, so Lush Portico. Put this thing in the graveyard, and then we'll pass. And I can always still Mystic Sanctuary on end step. I could put Lorien on top of my deck. That's potentially worth thinking about. Or Swords, if I have to like escape valve something, but mostly feeling like I'm in pretty good shape. I'm going to be attacking for 10 damage here. Just not in that much of a rush. Any 2-drop represents Time Walk. Any 4-drop, no, yeah, any 2-drop turns into Time Walk because I can Neoform it into Spellseeker. Jer has 3 cards in hand. He has missed some land drops, so some of them are probably spells, but Sabsunin being an indestructible is obviously like a massive line of text in this matchup, and this is definitely the matchups where it shines. Yeah, and there's the concession. The Unkillable Frog.
Yeah.
Where was
Just
your
some
hand? Just
more.
like a bunch of removal that can't kill Frog?
Yeah, I was tanking in my opening hand. I had a Molten Collapse or a Chaos Defiler that I was putting on the bottom. And I ended up putting the Chaos Defiler on the bottom. But I was talking like starting turn 1, I'm like, I think I did what most people would have done, but I viewed it as the conservative play, and it was like a really close decision.
Yeah.
Because most people just see 5 drop in their hand and they're like, you gross, get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously matchup contextual. In this matchup, I like want one removal spell in case you have like Tameo or something that needs to die. But like most of the time I don't need to cast a removal spell before turn 5. And like I think having Chaos Defiler maybe lets me
make different plays.
Win or get closer to winning that game. Yeah. I was probably still losing. I just drew a bajillion lands again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, once the Sabsuner got going, it was obviously like just tough, like card
very
6 extra cards or whatever.
Very uphill.
Gotta be challenging to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right, cool. Well, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoy this kind of more like tier 1 narrating all of the lines of play style of video, let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you aren't subscribed. We really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll definitely still do more of the more casual commentary style videos, but we're also looking to do a bit more of this. So if you like this, let us know, and we'll kind of adjust accordingly. Without further ado, we will see you next time.